This week was potentially the most important week of the entire year. The Fed finally cut rates, and that caused the markets to have such a strong reaction. We had very significant high time frame patterns across all asset classes, and they basically all of them triggered to the upside. Let's first take a look at the mother of all indices, the S&P 500. If we look at this, we see non-stop bullish pattern after bullish pattern after bullish pattern. Way back here during COVID, we had this V-shaped recovery and then a handle. So a V-shaped cup and handle pattern, and it played out perfectly here. And then recently in 2021, we had another cup and handle pattern, which is also playing out, and that target has almost been met. Most recently, we have another V-shape and handle. And this week, that pattern triggered. We have official closed weekly candle above the neckline. This is significant news. Imagine being around to benefit from this move. Imagine being around to benefit from that move. That is essentially what is about to begin now. If we look at Nasdaq, very similar type of thing. We have bullish pattern, a upward trending channel that turned into a cup and handle, that turned into a triangular wedge. This week, we just triggered that wedge to the upside, and the target of that is a whopping $547. That's about 15% move to the upside. Next, let's take a look at gold. Gold has this enormous inverse head and shoulders that took over 10 years to form. That pattern has a target of $3,000 per ounce for gold. Recently, we crossed more than the halfway point of that, and we formed this rectangular pattern that has a target 2,660. We're almost there, but not quite yet. Gold is well on its way to that 3,000 mark. Crypto also had an amazing week. We can see on the daily of Bitcoin this bottoming inverse head and shoulders, which broke and confirmed to the upside. If we take a look at the weekly, we're headed to that major trend line that's been keeping price down for the past 200 days. But we're almost back towards where we can retest that trend line, and hopefully this time we can actually break out. One thing that does give me hope in the crypto market right now is this bottoming inverse head and shoulders. On the daily, the target of this inverse head and shoulders is actually of that weekly downward trend line. So if we can actually use this inverse head and shoulders to break out of this downward trend line, that'll be a huge accomplishment for Bitcoin, which will give strength to the altcoins, which eventually may start the altcoin cycle. Altcoin cycle that we've all been waiting for, where we see 10x, 20x, even 100x, 1000x gains. That is what's on the cusp. Looking at the altcoin market, we do see some positive developments on the weekly chart. It's the first time that we have yet made a lower low on the weekly chart. See over here, we made a low, a lower low, a lower low, and this time we were actually able to keep price above this trend line and not make a lower low. Not only do we have 2 weeks of follow through, and now we're on the cusp of making a higher high for the first time. So if we close a weekly candle above here, that would be very bullish for the altcoin market. So in summary, we see signs of strength everywhere. Crypto, Nasdaq, S&P 500, gold. Everything looks very, very bullish on the weekly chart, and we're confirming above necklines, we're to the upside. Everything looks set up perfectly for more continuation to the upside. Now, when that upside will be, it's hard to say, but we can expect either sideways movement for the next few weeks or upwards movement for the next few weeks. We can't tell exactly which one it'll be, but it's going to be one of them, and eventually we'll have these huge gains to the upside.